Hey, it's Jamie Scrimger. When I became a stepmom, I quickly realized that while moms are encouraged to keep it real, there's a big double standard when it comes to stepmoms. So I decided to start the conversation myself. Thriving as a stepmom doesn't just come from conversations about being a stepmom, though. Here we dive into marriage, relationships, personal growth, and more. My mission? Inspire you to live a kick-ass life while bringing you along as I create my own. This is the KICK-ASS Stepmom Podcast. Hello. Welcome to the KICK-ASS Stepmom Podcast. We are back, baby. Oh my God. 2024 just took 3-ish months off the pod. And as hard as it was to do, it was the best decision ever. Taking space can be such a powerful thing. So much has happened. So much has changed. I have so much to update you on. Let's do this. Okay, I do not even know where to start on updating you on the last few months. This is going to be a quick and dirty hello, kind of like a welcome back. But wow, it has been a wild ride full of lessons and revelations and healing and loneliness. And wow, there's just been a lot going on. So we're just going to do an update. On the agenda, I'm going to talk about business, trusting the universe, a failed business acquisition, and what's next for this platform and for me. I've actually been thinking about this platform and us for a while, like you and I, because over the last few years, well, so many of you have been along this journey with me. And yeah, we've grown so much together. This platform has grown so much together. Our conversations, just everything. I'm really proud of us. And I think my intro says something about how my goal here is to inspire you to live a kick-ass life while bringing you along as I create my own. It's kind of like my tagline. And I really do think that I have been doing that. Ebbs and flows, ups and downs. I am really proud of the fact that I do think I have been very authentic with you guys about the challenges that have come along with being a stepmom, with running this platform, with being married, just being a stepmom, all the things. Like, it is not all hearts and sparkles. So if you are coming to this podcast in the hopes that I'm going to make everything better, or I'm going to make everything perfect in your stepfamily life, I'm sorry, you're going to be disappointed. But I do have a lot of strategies that can help you thrive amongst the tough stuff and just feel more confident and in control. Because perfection, it's just not attainable. Now, one big thing that I really do want to emphasize, and it is a lesson that I've learned, and I'm very confident that's going to be true for you too, is that the only person who is preventing us, like you and me, from living the life that we want to live as us. I think as stepmoms, we're really quick to give away our power. We're really quick to blame outside circumstances for our lives. And yeah, there's a lot of things that are out of control or out of our control as a stepmom. But we have to remember how much we do have control over, right? It's like Sarah Jane Kay says in one of her podcast episodes with me. She's an Enneagram expert and she is a stepmom. And she says, I choose this life and I can unchoose it at any time. And it's very, very true. And just even saying it and reading it, it'll remind you of how much power you do have. I'm not telling you to go get a divorce. I'm just saying you got a lot of power over your life. Anyway, it is not easy, but you can change your life whenever you want to. And it really does start with a decision. But I do think that in order to truly know what you want and what you need, you have to turn off the noise. Like, holy shit, our life is so noisy. We need to take space. We need to get quiet, get a journal, maybe clear out your calendar. Like, I'm all about the white space on the calendar these days. I said to the girls, I'm not having more than 2 calls in a day because then I cannot show up as my best for the people who are on these calls with me. Like, you get depleted. And it is hard to do that in a society and in a role that has us feeling like we have to be doing and doing. It's hard to do this as a female and as a mom and as a stepmom in a society where our worth, it almost feels like it's wrapped up in our relationships, in our caregiving, and in trying to do it all. But I think it's really good. You know, women are starting to call bullshit on that narrative. So if you listen to one thing that I tell you in this episode, please let it be the power of taking space and just sitting, journaling, even like asking the universe for some answers. Like, what do I do here, right? There's so much power in just sitting. Take the space. Please just take more space in 2024. Because when you get quiet, you can hear so much more. So let's be straight for a second. This platform, it is my passion. This is my baby. It is my purpose right now, but it is also a business. And there was a time in my life when I was blogging and writing and doing all of this online and it was taking up so much of my time. And so I had to have a conversation with my husband. It was either I go all in and create a purpose-driven business or I scale back, go back to work. But I was doing all the things for the stepmoms and I love this community. I've loved it since I started. So the podcast, the membership, all the things, my purpose, my passion, but also my business. So you would think that me taking time off from the podcast would have affected my business negatively. And it probably did a little bit money-wise. I probably lost some money, but I'm feeling so much more aligned and further ahead than I would be if I didn't take that space. So again, I'm sharing this because I want to give you permission to do that as well. Space to reflect on what's working, what's not, reflect on what you're doing, realign with your purpose, reset. And this isn't just about being in a business. This is about your relationships. Personally, professionally, space is key. So anyway, enough about space, but definitely take a little bit more of it. Last year as an entrepreneur, I'm going to say it was a complete shit show. I was so grateful for the lessons that I learned and the experiences, but man, what a shit show. So I had 3 hires that didn't work out. No, I had 4 hires that didn't work out. Turns out that I'm a terrible boss. Actually, I'm joking. Or I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Definitely had some lessons to learn. Last year, I thought I was investing and taking things to the next level. And nope, that didn't work out. It was such a waste of time, waste of money, but lots of lessons. And that's the thing. I really want to encourage you guys, even when you're going through the hard things in life, you're like, okay, what is the lesson here? What can I take from this? And so here are the lessons that I learned about being a leader. And I'm sharing this because I also think it's true for our relationships and in our stepmom life. So clarity, it is so important. You cannot assume that anyone understands you, that they know what you're looking for, that they can read your mind, that they know what you want and how you feel and what you need and what you prioritize. You just cannot assume anything. I remember my grade 5 teacher, Mrs. Norris, was like, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. And well, I made an ass out of myself. And after all of these failures last year, I had to stop and be like, okay, how am I contributing to this problem? I can't be just hiring bad hires after bad hires. Mind you, there were some bad hires. I do have to take responsibility for this. And I was assuming. I wasn't being clear. And I thought people had the same level of common sense that I have. But by the way, there is no such thing as common sense. And I don't know. I thought they maybe had the same values as me. Also, I was giving people's words stronger weight than their actions. I actually had a few hires that said all the right things. They blew me away. They killed it in our meetings. They were like, yep, I've got this. And then when it came down to the execution, I was like, okay, something is not lining up here. But how often do we do this in our relationships? We assume that they know. We assume that they get it. We assume that they have the same type of common sense. Again, there's no such thing as common sense. We don't take time to get clear on our boundaries, what we're looking for, what we need, our rules of engagement. And then when people act according to their own agenda or aren't executing on things how we expect them to, we become activated and become reactive and triggered and disappointed. This has totally happened in your stepfamily life. Am I right? I think I am. I really think this is a huge issue in a lot of stepfamilies, or that a lot of stepfamilies have when they're trying to blend or a new stepmom joins the family. There's not a lot of planning. There's not a lot of communication over what this is going to look like. And when one person may think one way is the right way, the other person may think another way is the right way, and we all assume we all have the same common sense, but it's different opinions, different expectations, different rules of interactions. And then, without that communication piece, people become reactive. Things become a bigger deal than they are. And then we show up in a way that is not our best self. So anyway, a couple quick lessons that I learned last year. Follow your gut. Hire slow, fire fast. This one's from Gary Vee. I don't know if you guys follow him online, but that's something he said. People often will say the right things, but you have to see if they can do the right things. Also very true in relationships. You can't just assume that people are going to show up how they say they're going to. Actions speak louder than words. And you can never be too clear or specific. It's all about communication, baby. Let's take a little trip down memory lane, shall we? Years ago, when I had the idea to start the KICK-ASS Stepmom community, my membership space, so many people in my life thought it was a bad idea. Really? Membership? Do you think stepmoms would be into that? Who joins a membership? I got the same reaction when I started coaching. Coaching, eh? You make money doing that? Who hires a coach? Well, as it turns out, lots of people hire coaches and lots of people join memberships. Within a couple hours of starting my membership, I had over 250 stepmoms sign up. And since then, we have supported thousands of stepmoms from over 30 countries worldwide. I created a multi-six-figure business connecting with women and doing what I love and making a difference. And I do it all on a platform called Kajabi. Kajabi is like a one-stop shop for everything you need to monetize your digital brand. It hosts memberships, podcasts, websites, emails. You can sell digital products, run your coaching program. It keeps everything simple and streamlined in one platform. Everything I do is in Kajabi. If you have an idea to start a digital brand, membership, coaching program, or podcast or whatever, you have to just start. It's nerve-wracking. It's challenging. You feel out of your comfort zone. People in your life may not understand, but you're going to be so glad that you took the chance on yourself. Right now, until January 25th, Kajabi is offering 3 months of Kajabi for $99. This is a huge discount and such a great opportunity to dive in and start creating your dream business. Head to jamiescrimger.com/Kajabi to join now. That's www.jamiescrimger.com/KAJABI to join now. And if you're listening to this past January 25th, all good. You can still check out everything Kajabi has to offer through this link. That's www.jamiescrimger.com/KAJABI to join now. So another thing that happened last year is that I was going to take over another digital business. It was kind of a dream. So a digital brand online, focusing on stepmoms. This has been a conversation that has been happening back and forth for a year and a half. Like I had big plans. It had been a dream of mine to do this since I started this platform really, and it would have been such a cool story. And I can't share really the details of it because I did sign an NDA, but it was a lot of back and forth with prices and negotiations and all the things. And then right when we were about to sign, after a year and a half, everything was kind of like coming together. Our lawyers just needed to make some tweaks that were going to protect me and them and just kind of, lawyer talk. And we sent over the changes to the legal agreement. And no, it was not going to happen. All of a sudden, the vibe of the emails changed. I was like, what the hell? And then I got an email. I was like, no, deal's off. This isn't going to happen. I was like, what the heck? I had literally had new team members in place ready to help me take over the business. Like everything was set. And yeah, she fell through. And at first it was a blow, but remember in your high school, or like maybe it's not even just high school, any type of relationship. So you're dating someone and you're blindsided. They break up with you. And at first you're really upset. And then you realize, actually, I didn't want to be with them anyways. It was just like an ego thing. That's kind of what happened. It ended up being such a blessing in disguise. Because earlier that week, I had been taking some space. I was journaling. I was just thinking about the type of business that I want to run and how I want to feel. And I was just done feeling overwhelmed. I was done with the packed schedules and full days of calls and feeling like I couldn't get ahead. And if you guys have been listening to this podcast for any length of time, you know that I just really wanted to simplify and focus on one thing. And that one thing really was my membership. So I wouldn't say that I'm a religious person, but I am a very spiritual person. And I believe that if we listen to the universe, it will tell us what is right. We just have to pay attention to the signs. Like we got to take space and get quiet. Follow your gut. And I think deep down, I knew that this was not right. And it was kind of a blessing in disguise. So yeah, it was an ego hit. Okay, move on. But looking back, I am so glad it didn't work out. And I'm grateful for all the business lessons that I learned going back and forth with accountants and lawyers. And wow, it was just a lot. But like I said, after that, I realized just how much I want to simplify everything that I'm doing, because last year I actually experienced burnout, like physical burnout. My blood test showed I was burnt out. And I was just like not doing well. Going. My functional doctor said I was surviving on anxiety and coffee, and she was not wrong. So after this didn't go through, I was like, okay, why would I have added more to my plate instead of simplifying what I'm doing? So I'm going to backtrack a bit here. If you've been following for a while, you know that about, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years, I said I was going to shut down my membership, the KICK-ASS Stepmom community. I was going to give it one more year or something along those lines. And I think I even have a podcast episode that talks about this decision, which, by the way, I should probably take off now. But ultimately, I was like, okay, I'm not shutting down this membership. I love this membership. We have supported thousands of stepmoms from over 30 countries around the world. I have met so many amazing women. Like, this is my baby. It's all the other things that are taking from my bandwidth. So fast forward to now, reflecting on what I really want for this next year, what I want to focus on, what I want things to look like, how do I want to feel? My goal is to create a space for stepmoms to come when they're struggling at an investment that doesn't seem like a stretch. Like, life is very expensive right now. I don't know if you've tried to buy cheese lately, but it's really freaking expensive. And I also wanted to create a space that isn't going to take a lot of your time and energy. I want you to have somewhere to go when you're struggling and when you're overwhelmed. If you want to connect with me, you want to connect with other stepmoms, or you want to look for solutions to an issue that you have, like, I don't know, try to improve your relationship with your stepkids or how to disengage the right way. So you can go through, go to the chat room, hit me up in the office hours, go through a workshop, whatever it is you want to do. And then when things are good, you just have the peace of mind knowing that you have the space to go to if shit hits the fan, because it probably will again, right? Anyway, this feels good. That's where we're at this year. It's all in on the membership. And I'm just really excited to support members and have the capacity to level up in that capacity. So that's where we're at. We also have a lot of great episodes coming up on the podcast in the coming months. I'm so excited to share them with you. We are actually ahead on the podcast. We have episodes scheduled for the next few months with crazy big names, game-changing conversations. Like, these are some of the experts and therapists who have really helped me transform my own life, and I get to share these conversations with you. So 2024, it's going to be a good one. Podcast is back. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if this episode resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you could share it with someone in your life who you think could benefit from it. And if you haven't already left a rating and a review on iTunes, it really is the best way to support the show. And if you're craving more real talk and coaching and community, be sure to check out my membership, the KICK-ASS Stepmom community. Head to www.kickassstepmom.com to learn more.